Don't miss the tea. Subscribe now.
Girl, you better sit down and pour me another glass of wine, because I am about to spill tea that is so hot it's going to burn the roof of your mouth. Seriously, get comfortable, because I am spiraling right now, and I need you to hear the absolute insanity that has been my life for the last 12 years. You know how I've been struggling lately with my health and everything? Well, it's forced me to reopen a door that I nailed shut, boarded up, and buried underground years ago. It's about my daughter's father. Let's rewind. We have to go back 12 years. God, I was a baby. I was 20 years old. I was living in North Carolina and I met this guy. He was in the army. Now pause. Seriously, never let me date a military man again. So we started chatting. He was charming, of course. He told me he was going through a messy divorce. He played the sad, lonely soldier whose wife does not understand him card to perfection. I believed him. We chatted for a few weeks and I finally gave in. I spent the night with him, just that one time. The next morning, I'm waking up thinking maybe we'll go get breakfast. Wrong. He starts freaking out. He's running around the room, throwing my clothes at me, practically hyperventilating. He looks at me dead in the eye and says, "You have to leave. Now my wife, my son, and my in-laws are on their way here. You need to disappear." I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. There was no divorce. He was playing house. I left feeling dirty and used. I cut him off right then and there. But the universe wasn't done with me. Fast forward a couple of months, I'm feeling sick. I take a test. Boom, 2 pink lines. I knew I had to tell him. So I texted him, "Hey, we need to talk. I'm pregnant." We chatted for a little bit. He asked a few questions. And then, silence. I went to check his profile, gone. Checked his number, blocked. He blocked me on everything. Facebook, phone, WhatsApp. It was like he deleted himself from my existence. He just decided, nope, not dealing with this, and vanished. I waited until my daughter was born. I thought maybe once there's a baby, a real human being, he'll step up. Or at least the military will make him step up. I contacted his command. I got a hold of his chief master sergeant. I thought, okay, the military has values, right? Honor, integrity. Girl, please. The chief master sergeant gets on the phone with me and his tone is ice cold. He basically tells me, "Ma'am, I've spoken to the soldier in question. He claims he doesn't know who you are. He says you are a crazy stalker person making up stories to ruin his career." I was floored. Crazy? Me? I'm holding his child in my arms and he's telling his boss I'm a lunatic. The sergeant then says, "Because he denies knowing you, I cannot help you. You're on your own." Click. So there I was. A single mom at 21, branded crazy by the U.S. Army, with no address, no child support, and a baby girl who looked just like a man who pretended we didn't exist. I let it go for a few years because I literally couldn't find him, but eventually I got lucky. I found an address. I was furious and I wanted justice. So I paid to have him served with court papers. The court gave him 30 days. 30 days to go to a lab and spit in a cup, that's it. I counted down those days. Day 1, day 10. Nothing. Silence. Then on day 30, the very last day, I get a phone call from the Child Support Enforcement Office. "Ma'am, the results are in." My heart is pounding. Finally, validation. The results are negative. He is excluded as the father. I nearly dropped the phone. I screamed, "That is impossible." Listen to me. I was not sleeping around. There was no roster. It was him. It was only him. Mathematically, biologically, logically, it had to be him unless the Holy Spirit paid me a second visit. I hung up, grabbed my keys, and drove down to the child support office. I was seeing red. I marched up to the counter and demanded to speak to someone. I said, "There is a mistake. That man is the father. I need to see the results." The caseworker, she seemed confused by how adamant I was. She takes me back to a cubicle. She pulls up the file on her computer. She says, "Well, let's look at the intake form. He came in, he showed ID, he took the photo." She opens the digital file. She turns the monitor toward me. "Is this him?" she asks. I looked at the screen. I saw his name. I saw his date of birth. I saw his social security number. And then I looked at the photo they took at the lab right before the test. My jaw hit the floor. That, I pointed at the screen, my finger shaking, "is not him." The guy in the photo was a completely different human being. Different face structure, different eyes. It wasn't him. It was some random guy he probably paid to go in there with his ID. I looked at the caseworker and said, "That is not the man I slept with. That is not my child's father. He sent someone else." The caseworker's face went pale. She realized instantly what had happened. She wasn't supposed to show me that file. She quickly minimized the window. "Ma'am," she whispered, This is a conspiracy. This is fraud. You need a lawyer. I can't help you anymore." I panicked. I said, "Let me take a picture of that screen. I need proof. He faked the test." She blocked the monitor with her body. "No, I can't let you do that. I could get fired. You need to leave and get an attorney." I walked out of that office feeling like I was in the Twilight Zone. He didn't just ignore the test. He orchestrated a whole crime. He found someone who looked vaguely enough like him to pass a cursory glance, gave him his ID, and sent him to take a DNA test. Who does that? I went home and told my family. I was ready to go to war. I wanted to call the police, the FBI, anyone. But my family, they got scared. My dad sat me down and said, "Look at what this man is willing to do. He's in the military. He has resources. He's willing to commit fraud in a federal matter if you keep pushing him, if you corner him. He might be dangerous." It chilled me to the bone. They were right, so I gave up. I was scared. I buried it. I raised her on my own, but now, here we are. I'm 33. My health is failing. I need help. And the welfare office is forcing me to poke the bear again. I found out he's stationed in another state, but I can't find him. No Facebook, no Instagram. He is a ghost. I have the address, but what am I supposed to do? I can't afford a lawyer. My daughter is starting to ask questions now. She's 12. She sees her friends with their dads. Last year, she looked at me with those big eyes, his eyes, and asked, "Mom, why doesn't my dad want me? Is there something wrong with me?" Girl, my heart shattered. I feel so helpless. I have a negative view of military men that I don't think I'll ever shake. I see a uniform and I just see a liar. The welfare office is pushing me, but I have no money to fight a legal battle across state lines. It's like he won. He played dirty and he won. I just don't know what to do. I'm exhausted. I'm sick. Pass me the bottle. I think I'm going to need the whole thing. What would you do? Because honestly, I'm out of ideas and I'm just tired.